This is the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Brought to you by Yegg Property Pros. Powered by Real Broker. Get a realtor who knows. Call the pros.
We like to start things off on Friday by ridding ourselves of any negativity, get it off your chest, and then nothing but good vibes after that. I'd like to start with people with backpacks that no longer understand their size.
When did this happen?
Yesterday, guy with a backpack on the ball game. It was like his ball bag.
Okay.
Standing in an area that I needed to get through.
Oh, yeah.
And
Clueless. I'm
like, excuse me, I'm just going to sneak by you here. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And he shimmies up just a little bit, and I still didn't have room.
It's true. People that wear backpacks don't realize that it is, in fact, an extension of your own body.
Next time you're on an airplane, notice this, too. Because the people with backpacks on, when they're walking down the aisles and turning, and then they try to take the backpack off while they're in between seats, and they're hitting people in the face, and it's just a thing. Oh, that felt good.
Oh, now you can only be positive.
Yeah. Listener Shanley hit us up and said that she's recently become single, going through a tough breakup, having a rough time adjusting, and wondered if there was anything we could do to cheer her up a little bit.
It gets easier.
I've got a plan.
Ryder's recorder. Ryder has no actual skills.
Hope this makes you feel better. That single lady's going out to Shanley.
I don't want to offend you, but it took me a while to figure out what that song was. Sorry. Once I figured it out, though, I was like, oh, it makes sense.
Well, thanks. Getting lots of texts on this dog thing. Mm-hmm. The fact that people feel the need to bring their furry friends with them out into this heat in potentially dangerous situations for them.
Yeah, I saw a doodle at a baseball game the other night, and I was like, that dog is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like,
just
can't you tell by the way it's panting? There's no water around. There's no shade. I don't know. It bugged me.
Kelsey says, I saw a dog tied up outside of a grocery store yesterday when it was like 34. Poor thing was panting like crazy. Thankfully, another man stormed into the store and told them to use the pager, like the intercom, to get the dog owner, or else he was going to call someone.
Good.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people think that the best thing you can do is to pour water on a dog in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's actually not the best, according to, this comes from St. John Ambulance. And so you think they'd know what they're talking about. But you're supposed to first give them lukewarm water to drink, then cool the soles of their feet, chest, lower abdomen with a damp towel.
Yep.
Rather than just like soaking them, because it doesn't help. The veins contract, and it could be worse for them for blood clots and things like that.
If you want that information, text us and we can send it directly to you.
I wonder if we should fact check that first. It just looked like a screenshot from the internet.
I've heard that before, though.
Have you? Yeah. Well, it does make sense. The like lukewarm water and the like belly with a damp towel, rather than just dumping water on them.
And cold water, yeah.
But yeah, it's just on the pavement. Can you imagine if you had a fur coat on and you were on your hands and knees that close to hot pavement? Like, you'd last 20 seconds before you'd be like, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And they're not able to.
A lot of breeds can handle the heat, though. Like, we know that.
For sure.
But so, just be smart.
I came up with some songs that I thought we could use to, really get this message out there. I want to run them by you, see what you think.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Personally.
If there's any of these three that y'all think I should actually get into the studio and put some time into, I would be willing to do that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, but can everyone listening be perfectly honest with Ryder? We don't want him wasting his time. It's like that one kid from your hometown that's trying to make it as a pop star, and all of their music videos are paid for by their parents, and then they buy their followers. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
I'm here. Like, I'm in the room with you.
Okay, let's hear the songs.
Okay, the first one is a take on an old classic Johnny Cash song. Ready?
Yeah.
His mother's words echoed again. Don't take your dogs to town, son. Leave your dogs at home, Bill. What do you think?
What are the actual lyrics?
Don't take your guns to town.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. You actually do quite a good Johnny Cash impression. I wasn't mad at that.
Thank you. Next. I mean,
I hope they get better. Like, I hope they keep getting better and better.
This one is Michael Bublé track. Another summer day, boiling away in Edmonton. Leave your dogs at home. Oh, leave them at home.
It didn't rhyme, and you said Edmonton weird.
It did rhyme, kind of. Well, it's because the actual lyrics are in Paris and Rome.
Oh.
And so I had to drag out Edmonton.
You could have said, like, surrounding areas. Because we have a lot of listeners from...
yeah, that's
Mornville,
fine.
Leduc.
Wow, thanks. That wouldn't have rhymed.
Next.
I hate it here. Well,
These are really good PSAs, though. It is too hot to bring your dog places. What's next?
Don't let the dogs out. Don't take your dogs out.
All right, hit us up. Let us know which one was your favorite. Johnny Cash, Michael Bublé, or who sings that
The
song?
Baja Man, I
Baha
believe.
Men.
Yeah. Important message. Some pretty serious words being thrown back and forth between the Osborne family and Britney Spears. What year is it, by the way?
Did you see Britney's post yesterday? It was a photo of Mexican blend shredded cheese.
Yeah.
And the logo for it is "There's no stopping this topping." So she just posted the cheese and titled it, "When people say let's celebrate love and freedom this year, I prefer to just get it on," basically.
What
What does that have to do with
Mexican cheese?
Mexican blend shredded bagged cheese?
Well, what did you say the saying was at the top of the cheese?
There's no stopping this topping.
Like maybe she's
It's like a joke.
she's saying that that's where she likes to be in that situation, but still, that's a stretch.
It's strange.
Super strange. But this Osborne thing kind of is strange as well. So during their Osborne's podcast, it was, I think it might have been Ozzy. No. Yeah, it
It's
was.
all of them,
It was
isn't it?
Ozzy, yeah. And he said, "I'm fed up seeing poor old Britney Spears on YouTube every effing day. It's sad, very sad." His daughter Kelly chimed in saying she felt sorry for Britney Spears, and then Sharon added, "She's a poor little thing." Spears responded with an emotional Instagram post that called out them, and they've also had an issue with Kate Beckinsale before. Here's what Britney said: "I know what it's like to be judged, but I think it's important to help each other and invite each other to other places to help our souls grow. I'm going to do a photo shoot with Kate and tell the Osborne family, who is the most boring family known to mankind, to kindly F off."
Whoa.
That's a pretty good, well-worded chirp
That's a great chirp.
by Brit.
Imagine being told you're the most boring family on earth. That stings.
Yeah, it'd be tough to have a good show on the podcast the next day.
True. How do you come with straight fire after that?
I don't think you do. But yeah, it is interesting, right? Like, there's some stuff you see from Britney, and you're like, oh, is she getting her feet under her? Like,
Yeah.
is she doing well? This is great. Everybody likes a good comeback story and
then
what
the
she's
next
been
day-
through. And then the next day, all of a sudden, it's just like
Shredded cheese.
shredded trees or just straight up nudity. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
she really pushes it in different ways with that. So
Yeah, every day's an adventure if you follow her on Instagram.
she's definitely not boring.
I'm burnt out.
Okay.
Speaking of burning things, do you want to tell everyone how you cook a steak? Sorry, I didn't mean for that.
That's a really nice way to word that. What?
That's not what I meant.
Okay, so what
So
did you mean?
Can you teach everyone how to cook a steak properly so they don't burn it?
Why? Where did this come from?
Because I think you made... I don't want to let this get to your head, though. I think you made me the best steak I've ever eaten in my entire life, to the point now where I don't think I can enjoy a steak in a fancy steak restaurant.
Whoa.
That sounds like a bold statement, but I'm not joking.
That's so much nicer than what you said previous to that.
Yeah, but I'm not joking. I think it's the best steak I've ever had, and I don't see myself spending money on a steak in a restaurant ever again. So, can you teach everyone how to get to that level?
Yeah, I guess there are a couple things that I feel have really upped my game.
Well, you've been watching some really good, helpful cooking shows too.
Yeah. So I do the sear on both sides to start, and then I'll throw it on the barbecue to like bring it up to whatever temperature you want.
What are you searing it with? Butter?
Yeah, olive oil. I know a lot of people will say like don't use olive oil, but it tastes so much better. So that's what I use. I think the biggest tips are to let it get to room temperature before you cook it. So like bring it out of the fridge and leave it on the counter for like a couple hours.
Make sure your dog can't reach it.
Yeah, a good point. A little salt on there while it's coming to room temp is important.
When you say a little salt, do you actually mean a little salt?
Yeah.
Because when I watch these American cooking shows, they are
going for it.
putting so much salt on it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, salt both sides. And then my only other tip is how important it is to let it rest. Like after you bring it up to whatever temperature you want to eat it at, and use a thermometer. That's important. If you want it medium, make sure that's what you're going with. But just to let it rest for like 10, 15 minutes.
How do you rest it?
I usually just put it back on the cutting board and then I put tinfoil over top of it.
Do you think that's the difference? Because when you go to a restaurant, they fly them out. And
yeah,
they're cooked, they're ready, they're plated, they're sent to the table.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you cut it and all the juices end up on your plate and in your mashed potatoes. And whereas if you let it rest, that juice stays in the steak. Anyway, they're just a couple little tips. Like there's not that much going on. It was good, really good beef. I bought a cow and it was delicious. I think like the quality of beef is obviously hugely important too, but letting it get to room temperature and resting afterwards are my two best tips.
All right, if you ever have any grilling questions, just know you can grill Ryder about it.
Sure.
He knows his stuff. I'm telling you.
Let's not use the burnt word
I
again.
didn't mean to. I was just like trying to, segue nicely into the chat.
I do set off the smoke detector a lot when I'm searing. So
Inside. That's the one thing that maybe you could get some advice from other people about. How do you prevent that?
1K wordplay. Brought to you by Out of Bounds Restaurant.
we are joined by caller 7, Amanda. By the way, next week is going to be text to play all week.
Texter 107.
Yeah, we're just kind of switching back and forth week per week to give people that stream us at play107.com or by downloading our app for free in the App Store a chance because it's a little bit delayed.
Yep.
So by texting, it just makes it fair.
I like it.
But we are doing caller 7 today, and Amanda is on the phone. Here's how the game works. You're going to choose a teammate, Lisa or myself, who will leave the room. We're then going to give you 5 words. Tell us the first word that comes to mind for each. You got a 25-second timer that you got to deal with, and then we're going to invite your teammate back in. They'll play the same game, and for every answer that matches, it's $25. If all 5 hit, it's $1,000.
Amanda, who's your teammate?
I'm gonna go with saying Ryder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, I really liked my words.
Too bad. Save them for next week.
I guess.
I got good words too. All right, Amanda. Just gotta wait till Ryder is out of the studio. He's moving a little slow because he played a doubleheader last night of slow pitch. Learn how to stretch. My goodness. All right. Starting that 25-second timer.
Not out of the room yet.
I know. Starting that 25-second timer after I say the first word. Best of luck, Amanda. What comes to your mind when I say fancy?
Dress.
Peanut.
Butter.
Cone.
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 Ice cream.
Racket.
Ball.
Bouquet.
Flowers.
Oh, you crushed it. Let's do this.
I don't know.
All right. Get him back in here. Are you ready, Ryder? It's Friday. Amanda and I want to give away $1,000. Oh, Amanda wants $1,000. I want to give away $1,000. Are you ready?
Yes. How did it go?
Really good.
Let's do this.
What comes to mind when I say peanut?
I'm going to say butter.
$25. I think you'll get this one. What comes to mind when I say bouquet?
Flowers.
$50. Racket.
I got two answers.
I know. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, maybe there is more than one answer. Because when I wrote it, I was like, oh, this one will be easy.
I'm going to say tennis.
Ball. That pains me. Was it the other word you were thinking of?
Yes.
No. It's okay. We still have 2 more words to go to get Amanda to $100. Can we get her to 75 first? What comes to mind when I say cone?
Cone. Oh boy, there's 2 answers for this too. Cone. I'm going to say ice cream.
That's correct.
Yes.
I love that we've all collectively agreed that ice cream is one word. Anytime we play this game, we give it. Okay, last but not least, let's do this. Fancy.
Oh boy.
I know this one's tough, but
Fancy.
I think you could do it.
I'm going to say dress.
That's right.
Yeah. I almost went with Reba.
Word.
Reba. That's funny.
Thanks for playing and congratulations on $100. Dang, we were real close.
So close.
Yes.
Like racquetball was my other answer. Ball was
Don't even say that.
Okay, enjoy the
Yeah,
$100.
That just hurts her more.
Okay.
Thanks, Amanda.
We needed to touch on something. So during 1K wordplay, the word fancy came up. And dress was my answer, which matched with Amanda. That was exciting.
That was awesome. But we got some really good answers on the text line of what other people would have said.
Yeah.
I got a voice note from my dear friend Chelsea that said she would have said, huh?
Because you fancy,
You fancy, huh? And then another text here says, I would have said pants. Another person said Nancy, fancy pants, fancy Nancy.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many options there. So I'm so happy that you were on the same wavelength as Amanda.
Reba, Iggy
Reba.
Azalea.
Yeah.
Like you could have said Iggy. I don't know if many people would have picked that one. But do you remember back in the day we put together the Fancy remix? Because there was a couple songs that were in the charts that were called Fancy.
How could I forget this incredible remix?
So I'm going to play it. It's 45 seconds of just straight fire. I would suggest you just crank this one up.
Fancy,
Fancy Feast Gourmet Cat Food. Fancy.
Barbara Streisand.
And I'm still in the murder business. I can hold you down like I'm giving lessons in physics. Right. She want a fantasy like this. Drop it low and pick it up.
That's it.
I forgot we put the fancy cat food.
Fancy
drop in
feast.
but also the little random Barbara Streisand. what are we thinking?
She's fancy.
True.
We maybe went a little hard with the air horn. But other than that, I'm proud of that one. That one sounded pretty
I like
good.
the air horn.
What have you stolen from work? I've got a story coming up that is pretty wild.
I take something every day. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine?
was like, what do you take? I was interested.
Remember the guy that went viral after he quit working at McDonald's and he said every single shift he added an extra nugget into people's meals?
Yeah, so he was like Robin Hood. He was stealing from the rich and giving to the poor.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But yeah, there is a story coming up that you're not going to believe. It's pretty wild. We want to hear from you as well. What have you stolen from work? We can keep it anonymous if you'd like. Just make sure you mention that in your text. What have you stolen from work? There are 2 ladies that got busted stealing like hundreds and hundreds of pounds of Arby's meat.
What?
They both worked at Arby's, and they would just clip like every, bucket here, bucket for me. I don't know if they come in buckets, the meat
how
there.
does it go?
But yeah, the containers full of meat, and they started to notice, like, where is this extra meat going? Like, we're short every month. And it turned out these two ladies had like a thing, and it was thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Arby's meat that they stole. And I'm a huge Arby's fan.
We've got the meat. Is that their tagline?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So that was those ladies' tagline as well.
No, actually, we've got the meat.
But somehow that kind of grosses me out. Like, and I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about like a massive container of
Full of Arby's
sandwich meat. I don't know. Maybe it would be awesome.
And you ever steal anything from here?
I'm trying to think. There's nothing fun to steal.
Yeah, there is.
Like what?
I have a Katy Perry shrine in my garage.
Oh, true. Okay, but you didn't steal those. Those were like rotating cardboard cutouts and pictures that.
Yeah, nobody said that I could take them, though. I just started taking them. And now my garage is sick.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing when the garage doors open and people walk by and they're like, why is this guy obsessed with Katy Perry?
I have like 6 or 7 different things up on the wall. It's awesome. Every time I jump in my car, I start my day by looking over and saying, what's up?
Connor wrote in, we're supposed to keep it anonymous.
Okay.
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, you're really bad at keeping things anonymous.
My gosh. Okay, these ones are anonymous.
Yeah.
I steal paper towel because I refuse to buy it myself, and it's just way too expensive. This one here says a lady at our work was caught taking toilet paper home.
Well, remember during COVID when it looked like there was going to be a toilet paper shortage? I think I stole some toilet paper from work, too.
The one ply?
Yeah. Wasn't walking very good that week.
No, definitely not. This text here says I used to work at Sawmill Steakhouse. Used to steal a bottle or two of Sawmill sauce whenever I'd start running out at home. But I'm positive I'm not the only one who did that.
If I worked at Japanese Village, I would steal sauce like all the time.
It's all you talk about.
Their sauces are the best thing on the planet.
This one here says I used to work at Dairy Queen. I would sneak into the freezer and eat handfuls of the cookie dough nonstop because there aren't any cameras in the freezer. That's so funny. Okay, but obviously if you're still around, that debunks the whole cookie dough is bad for you.
Right? Good point. You didn't get salmonella.
You didn't get sick.
What do you got for us?
So I used to work at an Irish bar, and I borrowed, in quotations, a folding table, and I just never returned it. And so I have a folding table for all of my events. So if you come to my house for a barbecue, folding table from the bar. I've had it for about 6 years now.
That's one item that I don't own, that every time I need a folding table, I'm like, why didn't I buy one?
Steal one, like me.
I'm going to come to your next event, and then I'm just going to take your folding table home with me.
All that we've dealt with so far is you made an online order for Starbucks, and then you went there to get it, and they didn't have it.
Yeah, they said, we're having some technical difficulties with our app, and then when we were talking about the news, I was like, oh, it's because they're being affected by apparently the world's biggest IT outage in history.
Yeah, tech disruption around the world. It's affecting banks, so people aren't getting paid that are supposed to be getting paid.
If you bank through, or your company does through Service Union, credit union, you did not get your paycheck. There are airlines that are down, so there are flights that had to ground. There are flights that are canceled. The airport is kind of a mess, trying to scramble to be there for all the people that this has affected. It's kind of scary.
This is the biggest one of these in history, they think, hey?
So I just want to read a breakdown from somebody who's dissecting it a little bit further.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone fully grasps how big this is. Around 1 billion computers are bricked worldwide, mostly corporate ones. This isn't just an online service going down for a few hours. Every affected computer needs to be rebooted in fail mode and have a driver manually removed. Most corporate computers given to employees don't let users do this themselves. Even if they could, imagine every single double-digit IQ trying to handle a moderately complex task when many don't even know what a file is anymore. I can't stress enough the scale of this happening.
Dang, that's terrifying.
Good luck out there. And there are people that are complaining that because of this outage, they're like, nice, I don't have meetings today. Somehow, Microsoft Teams is still working.
The Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Brought to you by Yegg Property Pros. Powered by Real Broker. Get a realtor who knows. Call the pros.
Play 107.